McGraw-Hill Professional presents Tips and Traps for Getting Started as a Real Estate Agent. Written by Robert Irwin. Narrated by Scott R. Pollak. Preface. This book is for agents by an agent. Those just getting started will benefit most, although experienced agents should find many of the tips particularly helpful. I've written many successful books on real estate aimed at investors and consumers. Given that history, I felt a bit of trepidation taking on a project aimed exclusively at agents. My fears were unwarranted. After all, I've had a real estate broker's license for 43 continuous years as of this writing. I was one of the youngest people to get a broker's license in California at just 21 years old. As soon as I sat down at my computer, the words began flowing out. It was as if I had waited my whole life to write this book. I discovered I had so many stories to tell, suggestions to make, and lessons to offer that I could barely type fast enough to get it all down. Of course, giving credit where due, a lot of the material comes from other agents and brokers with whom I've worked and from whom I've learned. But let's be realistic. No book is going to turn you into an instant success at selling real estate. In fact, no speaker, guru, or mentor can do that. Only you can do that for yourself. However, this book can show you exciting and fulfilling ways to get off to a quick and positive start. If you're just beginning your career in real estate, the horizon is open to you, the opportunities unlimited. However, the pitfalls along the way are many and deep. We all know that too many agents who begin never actually succeed. That, however, doesn't have to be you. You can become the super agent who makes hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions, in commissions. The first year, the first month, indeed even the first week are critical. How you get started is the best predictor of how you'll end up. So, leap right in. Begin turning the pages to learn about making big commissions and developing a lifelong rewarding career. Robert Irwin. Introduction. What's involved in being an agent? There are well over 1 million real estate agents nationwide as of this writing. If you're already one of them, then proceed immediately to Chapter 1 to learn how to get started being hugely successful. If, on the other hand, you are just considering joining their ranks, here's how you become an agent. In all 50 states, in order to represent a seller or a buyer in the sale or leasing of real estate, you must be licensed. This usually involves two things. The first is getting a real estate broker, someone who is fully licensed, to sponsor you as a salesperson, someone who works under the tutelage of a broker. The second is completing specified coursework on real estate. The third is passing a state exam. Note, in some states, if you have a college degree in a related field, such as business, you may not need to take the coursework. Of course, you must also normally prove to the state that you're not a felon and are a person of good character. The real estate salesperson coursework is not usually extensive, and the test isn't usually considered to be very difficult. Many people pass it after taking a short course. Others pass after simply reading up on the field from a book. Courses and books designed to help you pass your state's coursework and exam are plentiful. Check the internet and your local bookstore. I find the Anthony books and courses to be particularly thorough. Once you pass your salesperson test, you will normally be required to serve an apprenticeship under a broker, typically for 2 years. After that, if there have been no complaints against you, you'll be allowed to sit for your own broker's license, which involves passing a more rigorous test. Be sure you understand the terminology of the field, as it can be confusing. Agent. A person licensed to sell or lease real estate for others. Broker. A licensed person who can work for himself or herself and collect commissions. Salesperson. A licensed person who must work under the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?